So let's build this pop sim. So I'm going to grab a pop network, plug our source into the first input, down inside, change this to points. Okay, and then into the birth tab here, and let's push the constant birth rate up to, I think, 100,000 is what I looked at before. So there we got points coming in. If we turn off the guide, these are points in the simulation, but nothing's going on because there are no forces acting on them. If we just add some gravity, we should see something happening to them. There we go, see them falling now. Okay. Okay, and we'll be inheriting the velocity there. What else? So we want to get rid of that. Let's we'll bring in the collider at the end because that will run really slowly. Let's add in some drag because that helps make things look a bit more natural. Definitely want this way lower. What we'll do, we'll use an expression here. Okay, so so that the drag is not the same for all of the points. So if we say float rand, so I'm making a float rand value called rand, and this will be, I'm going to fit it. Okay, the rand function will give you a value between 0 and 1, and I'm going to fit that to something else. So the rand function based on the ID, so we have an ID, each point will have an ID by default. And we're going to fit that between 0.5, so any value which was 0 will be 0.5 and 1. Okay, so you can see here in the source, where is it? There, add ID attribute, right? So every point will have an ID, even when it dies, it will still be there. I think, is there some kind of mistake here? Oh, I need at ID there. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply this value, which is air resist. Okay, air resist. Multiply this by that brand. Okay, multiply and set it. Oops. There we go. So let's see if we can see that. Cool. So you can see them all slowing down now, but definitely we'll want to drop that way down. So some points will be half, will be, slowed down by this much, and some will be by 0.1. There we go. Great. So what else? We want, I'm going to add some noise to this, so add a pop force. Give it some more amplitude, and swirl size is going to make it really big, so it's kind of like wind swirls. Right. Okay, let me zoom in close, see these points here. Yeah, you see that little bit of movement there. Is great. And finally, I'm going to use a pop interact. So we kind of trying to get some clumping of the points, right? So I'm going to turn off this position force. These values you really got to play around with, but I found basically what I settled on was 5.14 there. Kind of helped to bring, the points to kind of run together in little kind of clumps, if you know what I mean. Right, so finally we want to add obviously the collision that we generated to do this. I'm doing that last because it's going to take a long time, and I'm going to be caching it out. Also, in this point of view here, it kind of just turns into a kind of gray mass. So we can just bring these down in scale. It's a bit easier to see then. So you can get some nice kind of almost like cellular patterning there. Cool. And also you get the variation. You get this big blast with lots of speed and energy, and then bits just kind of falling as from the fractured pieces there. Cool. So yeah, let's bring in the collider. So back to the first frame. Let's save this. Yeah, Houdini just crashed on me there. I'm not sure why. So let me just set this back to dark and make these small again. Geometry, set this to 1. There we go. And I was trying to make a collider. So static collider, static object, sorry. Back to the first frame. I'm going to merge it in here. We don't need a ground plane because we can't see the floor. If you're going to change the camera angle, then, you know, add one in. But I don't think we had one for the other simulations either. So static object, the subpath will be that polygonal geometry. So go right to the top, out, call pol. And then in collisions, volume, we're going to be volume sample. Proxy volume will be that call VDB. See that calculating there. It takes a bit of time, but it is faster than the internal volume that it generates in here. Okay, and make sure we check use deforming geometry. And that's about it. So let's cache this out. Okay, so come down here. Drop, I'll just copy this file cache and just change it a bit. Make sure that we're not getting the collider out here actually. So if we visualize that, yeah, we can see that geometry, so that's not right. So just type in pop there. There we go. And we're only getting the particles. Is that a mistake? Why do I see the helicopter? Let me see. Yeah, I think that's some kind of error. Let me just double check this. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's from the, there we go. Okay. No helicopter, perfect. Okay, so obviously we need to change this. So sim, let's just change this to debris. Okay, let's reset the simulation and save that to disk.